Okay guys, welcome back. We are going to start our tutorial now. So as you can see, this one by the left side here now, this web page is how we are going to create our web page. You will see, if you notice here, I have here on the top here a logo, and I have the header name of the website. So in this case, I am using a salon, a barbing salon, a unisex barbing salon as an example. It will scale good on mobile devices and scale good on computer also. So here on the navigation pages, you can see if you put your mouse here, it will change to hand, which means it can be clickable. And then when you hover over it, the color changes to white. The same thing to all of them, as you can see. So come down here. Here I put the header, Sunshine Unisex Salon. Then I put a photo, and the photo can also be scale good on any mobile devices. So here I just write a little thing I come up with about the salon. Then here I just put a picture of the inside of the salon. Here I have the prices of the men and the. So if you notice also, that is a hover. When I hover over it, the color changes. And also on the photos, you see when I hover over it, it changes also a little bit. So you come down here, I put a 3 boxes of examples of what the salon can do, both the men and the ladies, and the prices, as you can see. And I come down at the footer section. I put in the copyright at mysite.com, for example, all rights reserved, you know. So this is how we are going to do it. So now if you scale it, now let's scale it, you will see that here on the computer or on laptop, this is how it's going to look on the laptop. So if you scale it down now, you will see, if you come to iPad, this is how it's going to look on iPad also. So when it gets to the size of mobile devices, the small pictures will float under, okay? So we are going to start now. So from the former tutorial, we stopped here. This is our former tutorial. This is where we stopped. So I'm going to begin first to change this photo to be able to make it look like this cover photo here. So I have already saved the photos in the image folder, in the IMG image folder. So I'm going to just go ahead and make it faster. The name of the photo, I will change it here, is header-img. So I will go to Alt also and change it to header-img. So then let's refresh our browser and see, okay, the picture has been changed. So now I'm going to include our logo, the logo. So I'm going to copy this one, this link, then paste it under this one. Okay, then I've already saved the logo image on our image folder also. So I'm going to go ahead and just include the name here. Okay, and the extension of the logo is PNG. It's not JPEG. So you have to pay attention there. So I'm going to change the name here also to logo. Then on our logo, I will give it a 70 pixels so that to make it appear as a logo. Okay, so I'm going to give it 70 pixels. So refresh it. Let's see how it looks. So our logo has appeared here. So now I'm going to start working on this to be able to bring this Sunshine Barbing Salon and the logo together here, as you see it's here. So first I'm going to go to the header and give it a class of equals to header. So I'm going to go to the CSS section and target the header. So let me say I will put the header here. Okay, then I will say dot header. I will give it a position of position. I will say relative. Close it. Say margin 0. Padding 0. So I will go back here. I will put this in a div. So I will say lesser than div and greater than. Then I will arrange it well. So I will close the div, lesser than slash div, close it. Then I will say that on that div, I will give it a class of, I will say header dash h1. So I will go under here, I will say dot header dash h1. So I will give it a position of position absolute. Now we'll make it top 90 pixels. I give it left 50 pixels. I will say maybe it has a color of the text color of white. I will say color white. So then I'll go to the logo and give it a class of logo. So let me say I add it here. Class equals to logo. Then go over to the CSS to target the logo. I will put it under here. I will say dot logo brackets. I will give it a position of absolute. Then I will give it top at 15 pixels. Then left at 50 pixels. So close your brackets, then save it and refresh the browser. Let's see how it goes. So now you can see that the logo has been placed above the header h1 title. Okay, so now that we have finished the header title and the logo, so I'm going to move ahead to target this our navigation pages. Okay, so you see the way it appears here with the red color, and when you hover over it, it changes to white color. So that is what I'm going to target here. But first, let's do away with this gap, this white space in between the header image and the navigation page. So first, I'm going to go to the navigation here in CSS and say margin dash top minus 10 pixels. Then refresh it, save it and refresh it. Let's see. Okay, now it has gone. So I'm going to go to target the navigation pages. So I'll come over to this unordered list here on the navigation pages. So in between the home page and the LOI list, so I'll add lesser than a space h-f ref equals to, I will put an hash. So I will still come back to this because this is where that will be controlling effect of navigating from one page to another page. So in the future tutorial, we'll still get back to this. So I will say yes, then close it with greater than. Then I will go at the back here. Then close it with a tag. Close the a tag. So I will make sure I add all these link tag to at the back of all these pages. Okay. Then the closing of the a tag, make sure you pay attention and don't miss anything, because if you miss it, the code will get error. So I'm going to add it like this. So if you save it and refresh your browser, you will see now it is arrow, but if you refresh it, you will see a hand that shows it is now a link. So let's refresh it. So you see it is now a link. Now you can see it, and it has underline. You see it. So now it's clickable. So I'm going to go to the CSS and target it to remove those lines under it. So what I'm going to say is that I'm going to come here under here and say, so I'm going to say dot UL because it's under UL, under unordered list tag. So I will say LOI, it is under a LOI tag. So I will say A, you understand? Because I'm targeting the A. So I will just give it brackets, come down here and say text decoration none. Close it. So if you refresh it, you see that this underline now will go away. So refresh it, there is no underline again. So I will give it a color of I'll give it a color of red. Refresh it, you will see it's color red. Then I will copy this thing and paste it under it. Then I will delete these ones at the center. Then here I will add, then say hover. I will come here and say color white. So if you refresh it now, you will see that the color has changed. When you place your this thing, is now white. You can see. So we have been able to conquer these two here. So now that we have finished with the navigation pages, let's go down and add. Let me first go down and tackle the footer. So you can see the footer here, the way this one appears here. It says copyright at mysite.com and all right reserved. So I'm going to just go ahead and target it fast now. So let me go to our HTML. I scroll down to go to the footer. Then here I will say, I will just clean away this. This is our footer. This is the footer. Then I will here say copyright and copy. Yes, mysite.com. Pipe all rights reserved. So refresh it. So go to your browser and refresh your browser. So you can see now it has appeared. So I'm going to say here and give it align center. Save it, refresh your browser. It's not at the center. So if you look at here, the way it is placed at the center of the box, the black box. So I'm going to go over to the CSS footer section and say padding. Maybe I give it a padding of 4 pixels. So refresh it, refresh your browser. You can see now it has been placed at the middle of the box. So now we are going to move ahead and start to place our boxes. All these our boxes the way they're supposed to be placed, like the way all these ones are. Okay, so let's go there, man. So here in the aside, I'm going to add an h1. Then in that h1, I will say align equals to center. Align equals to center. So I'm going to give it a style equals to and give it a font size of 42 pixels. Okay, then close it, and what is the name? Is unisex. What is the name again? The name is Sunshine Unisex Salon. So I'm going to write here Sunshine Unisex Salon. So I make sure I close my h1. Okay, so I'm going to come under the h1. I'm going to include insert image. So I'm going to insert this photo we see here now. This photo we see on this website. This photo is what I'm going to add. So I'm going to say img source, which is sroc equals to is img slash. I gave it a name as barber shop. So, and I gave it out as barber shop image, and I gave it a width of 100% and height of 700 pixels. So we are going to add the back of the JPEG, the image. We are going to make sure we don't forget to add JPEG. Okay, so save it and see how it goes on the browser. So refresh the browser. So this is the image. Okay, so straight ahead under it, we are going to add a p tag. So in that p tag, I will add this content, this text. So I'm going to copy this text, then paste it here. So refresh the browser and see. So you see the text under it here. Okay, so I'm going to move ahead and add a div under this aside. So I'm going to say div. So I'm going to say div. So I'm going to place it good. So inside the enclosure of the div, I'm going to add this photo you see here, and under it also, I'm going to add all these articles. Okay, so first I'm going to declare the photo. I'm going to set it by lesser than img source, which is src, equals to img slash. The name is dressing seat. That is the name I gave the picture. Dressing seat dot jpeg. Okay, so the out is also dressing seat image. Okay, so I gave it a width of 100% and gave it a height of 300 pixels. So I save it and refresh the browser and see if it's there. So as you can see, it's there. So I'm going to go straight under it and add our data list tag. So I'm going to declare the data list like this, DL. So I'm going to close it by DL. Then I structure it good. So inside the enclosure of the data list tag, I'm going to add a DT. So there on the DT, I'm going to call this one men. Then I close the DT. Then I come under the DT. I'm going to add DD. So I add DD. So I'm going to here on this one now. I say, let me see how it looks on that website. So yeah, okay, here, yeah. So here I'm going to say this one is shaving. Okay. So I'm going to say that the shaving is $50. So I close my DD. So now I'm going to copy this DD to paste it more two places so that it will be faster. So I'm going to paste them here. Then I'm going to change this one to, okay, shaving with beard, which is going to be $100. Then this one I'm going to say is complete barbing. So I'm going to give it a price of $150. All these are for example, you know. So this is it. If you refresh the browser now and go and see how our website looks, let's see how it looks on our website. So now you can see that they are there. So further ahead, I'm going to give these things a class name so that I can be able to target them in the CSS. So I'm going to come to the aside section. I give it a class name of equals to flex item left. I will say this one is going to be left. So it's going to be the one that contains the content of our website. So I'm going to say the class is flex item left. So I'm going to come on this div under it and give it a class name of equals to flex item dash right. Okay, so I'm going to go over to CSS to target them now. So I'm going to come over here in the CSS. I will say, I will not target first the container. So on the container, I will say dot flex container. So I close my brackets. I will come inside the enclosure of the flex container. We said display flex wrap font size 25 pixels, text align center. So I will come under it and target the flex items. So I will say dot flex dash item left. I'll come down and close my brackets. And at the middle of the enclosure, I will say flex. This one is left. I will give it 70%. Then I'll give it a padding of 10 pixels. Okay, then I will copy it and paste it under it also. Then change it to right. Then here, change this one to 30%. Then this one that has 30%, I'll give it a background color of gray. Remember, it has background color of gray. So save your code and refresh the browser. So we refresh the browser now. So you can see, yeah, we have given it background color of gray. Okay. So now we are going to go ahead to continue to add the other articles. Okay. So we go back to our HTML. So I'm going to come under here. I will declare a section. So I will say lesser than section. I will close my section. Then on this section, I'm going to give it a class of equals to flex container 1. So at the center of the enclosure of this section, I would add a div. I will declare a div container. So I will declare a div container like this. I'll give it a class name of equals to flex dash item 1. Then I will close it. Okay, I will close it. Then I position it good. Okay. Then at the middle of the at the center of the enclosure of this div now, I'm going to declare an img. I'm going to insert a photo. I'm going to say img sroc, which is the source. Then I'm going to say img slash. So the picture I'm going to add, the first one is called man1. It is a JPEG extension. I'll say dot JPEG. So I will give it alt equals to as man1. All these are for example. Then I give it a width of equals to 100% and give it a height of equals to 100 pixels. Okay, close it with greater than. Then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this div and the image link in it and paste it 2 times under this first one. 1, 2. So you see them. So here I will change this one to man 2 because that is the name of the picture in the image folder. Then I change this one to 3. Change this one to 3 and this one to 2. So under this div now, I will add the ladies price list. So we are going to use this same data list we use in creating the main price list. So I'm going to copy them here, then come down here under the div and paste it. Then here under the div, I will change this one to ladies. Then let me check the website and see the prices for the ladies. Okay, shaving is 50. Then only hair shaving 100, and the last one is hair washing, so which is 150. So under it, immediately I'm going to place another picture, which is this picture you see here. So the first one we see here in this div is this picture. So the second one is this one. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to also copy this div again. Then come under this DL, the ladies data lists items. So I'll come under them and paste those divs. Okay, so I'm going to paste it here. So now I'm going to change the names to lady 1 and this one lady 2. Why this one is lady 3. And remember to change it also here, lady 3. Okay, so this one lady 2 and the first one is lady 1. So now if we go back and if we save this code and go back to refresh the browser, we will see how it goes on our website. Let's do it. So I refresh the browser. Now you have seen that the photos have been started there in our home page. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the CSS to be able to target this class that I gave flex container 1 and also target the flex items. Okay, so I'm going to go over to CSS now. So under here, I will first of all here the flex container, which is the flex container of the first container. I will copy it and come under it and paste it. Then I'll add 1 because remember the second one is we gave it name, the class name of flex container 1. So why all the settings are the same, I will leave it like this. But so I'll come under it now and target the flex item 1. So I will say dot flex dash item 1 brackets. I will close my brackets. Then I will give it a flex of 33%. Okay, and I will give it a padding of, let's say, 10 pixels. Okay, so this is for the one of the box of the container. So I will go back to change the names of others also to make them be flex 1, flex 2, and flex 3. So I will say this one is flex 2, flex item 2, and this one is flex item 3. We forgot to change the names. So now I will go back again and copy this flex item 1. So I will now copy this flex item 1, come under it and paste it 2 times. So that 2 times represent the 3 boxes. So the first one is flex item 1, while the second one is flex item 2, and the third one is flex item 3. So you can see I gave them a width of 33%. The whole box where they are, which is this box, is 100%. They are going to share the 100% into 33%. So that is why they will be smaller. Okay, so I'm going to save it and refresh our browser. So you can see this is how it looks on our browser, but it has not been finally set okay. So we are going to add some code to make it look okay. But before that, let's see how it looks on a computer, on a laptop. So let me just, so this is how it looks on a laptop. So it doesn't really look good. So I'm going to go to CSS. Now I will say here, at the very top of the CSS link, I'm going to say star brackets. I'm going to close my brackets. So now I'm going to say box dash sizing is border dash box. So save it. We are going to add another code again. So refresh the browser. So now if you refresh the browser, you will see it has been set okay. Okay. So now I'm going to add one more code, one more command for mobile devices. So that command, I'm going to add it under here. We call it at media command. So I'm going to say at media. Then this at media, I'm going to say bracket maximum dash width. Okay, so I'm going to give it 800 pixels. So I'm going to close the brackets and open this one bracket. Then close it. Come at the center of this enclosure of the add media declaration. So I'm going to target the flexbox item left and the flexbox item right. So I'm going to say dot flex item slash left comma dot flex item dash right. So I'm targeting the two. So I will say brackets. I come down here. I say bracket close. Then I come at the middle of the enclosure of this declaration of the flex item left and right. I will say flex 100%. When you open it on a mobile, so it will scale good according to the screen of the mobile. So let's refresh it. You wouldn't see anything, but all is set. So let's refresh it. You see, this is where we are now. If you are on the computer, this is how it's going to look on a computer or on a laptop. So I'm going to go back. So now, if you look at the example we have here, the one we are using as example, here, you will see that when you take your mouse and hover over this text, they change to white. So that is what we are going to target next now. So to target that, I'm going to go and check what the name is. So here, the name is DD. So I'm going to target all these DD lists. Okay. So this DD of price list of the men and the ladies. So I'm going to target it in CSS to add that color. So I'm going to go to CSS, maybe over here. I'm going to say DD, then hover, bracket. I'm going to close my bracket. So I'm going to give it a color of white. So now when you hover the mouse over the text, it will change to white. So like this one did now. So I'm going to refresh the browser, then come down to check if it's done. So you can see it is done. So now if you look at the example also, you can see that all the photos we have here, when you place your mouse on the photo, they have some little bit of opacity. All the photos, you will see it clearly on this one. You can notice it here. So you see it. So we are going to add this opacity now on the photos. So how to do that? So maybe I'm going to come down under this one. So I will target it by the class name. I will say dot flex container. So the flex container, the whole images, the whole pictures in the flex containers is what I'm going to target. So now I have targeted the flex container. So the flex container to the image. So this is targeting the image in the flex container. So I'm going to say hover, then brackets, then close my brackets. Then at the middle of the enclosure, I will say opacity. I will give it opacity of 0.9. Okay. Then save it and refresh your browser. So you can see now that the photos have had this opacity on them. So you can see it. So guys, I think we are done with this tutorial because if you look at it now, we've finished. So let's open it on a big screen. So this is how our finished design is. And there is no difference between him and the first one, the example we are using. This is the example we are using. So I think everything is done perfectly. So this is the one we have created just right now. So, and this is where I'm going to stop this tutorial now. In the next tutorial, I'm going to continue to add this link, these navigation links, these pages, so that when you click them, like when you click on this about, it will be redirected to the about page. When you click on services, it will be redirected to the services page, and the same with contact, okay? And from there, we're going to move on and continue to add things to make our website stand out, okay? So if this is your first time of coming across my account or coming across my channel, please do us a favor to subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you'll be notified anytime I upload video tutorials like this, okay? So until then, thank you for watching and see you in the next videos. Bye.